Welcome, Brent Smith from Shinedown, to our Rock Antenne interview. Thank you very much for your time.
It's my absolute pleasure. Sorry it's been so long since we had an opportunity to chat.
Oh, no problem. I really like it that we have the opportunity now. So let's just start. A big thing now is your song Symptom of Being Human, because we're playing it right now at Rock Antenne.
Thank you.
And I always ask the other people around me what they would like to hear from the bands, or what are their questions in their heads. And a lot of people ask, what is that symptom of being human for you and the song?
A symptom of being human, the whole song is about understanding that as human beings, we're all connected. This world can be a very interesting place to navigate, and at times can be chaotic. But the song is really about the fact that we're all a work in progress. You know, as you live your life, you're going to have moments where you evolve. There's going to be moments when your mindset changes, the way that you feel about yourself, the people around you. But that's why they call it a journey. That's what life is. The reality, though, is the song was written in the midst of a pandemic. And at the time, it was early 2020 when that happened. And when the band and I were looking at each other and we were watching what was going on in the world, we just said, we knew people were afraid. We knew they were scared. We knew they were frustrated. They were angry. They were confused. All these different emotions that make up who we are as people. And we wanted to write a song to let people remember that we're all connected. I still believe that human beings, we are inherently good. And we do want to take care of each other, and we do want to see each other succeed, and we do want to build each other up. That being said, you know, sometimes you have to fall into a hole in life to figure out how to get out of the hole. And so it's, you know, the mental side of the song is about trust the process of just being in the moment and looking at your life and zoom out. Don't be so like pigeonholed into one frame, because you're going to evolve as a person. And it's acceptance. It's also understanding that you're allowed to have as many human moments as you need. That's why it's a symptom of being human. Like, embrace it. Don't be afraid of it.
Yeah. Is it something for you that is getting more attention nowadays, and wasn't that important in earlier days?
You know what? I think more than anything, you know, one of the things is, you know, how we're connected right now through this device, and how, you know, the internet can be such a magnificent tool and a great communicator, but it can also, I have a 16-year-old son. And so I always remind him, I'm like, remember, you're in control of the device isn't in control of you. And yeah, kind of keeping that. I think that mainly what we've done and what we tried to convey is authenticity from the very, very beginning. You know, the one thing about this band, and the one thing that Shinedown truly represents, is, again, it's the human spirit. We talk about in our music the situations that we've been in, the scenarios that we've been put in front of, the people and places that we meet as we go through our journey as well. And we've always just been very much upfront. I mean, we're a band that's been talking about mental health for the better part of 2 decades. And I'm very proud of what the last 2 decades has been for the band, but now it's about the next 20 years and beyond. So we're never trying to write the same song over and over again, and we try not to make the same record twice. So we're constantly evolving, and I think that maybe people are starting to notice that, but I give it to the fan base. I give it to the fan base that's been there from the beginning, and the ones that are just now finding out who we are, because that's really what it's about. It's about growing the audience and bringing people together. That's truly what we care about, is just our fan base has given us a platform to be ourselves, because we want them to be themselves as well. And I think that if there's more of an exposure on the band now to people, I think it's because the message is important of what Shinedown represents. And I just think that people agree with what we're trying to do and what we're trying to convey.
That also that what you try to get to your fans over social media, because you are a lot on social media for your band and always watching videos of them and so on, and reacting to other stuff. But you're trying you a lot of on social media, and I think, isn't it too much so for yourself, or is it like, no, I have to do this? I really have to connect with the fans via social media.
I never have to do anything. I want to do it. Yeah, like we just had recently, we started the beginning of 2024, going back to 20 years that the band has been a band. And we just now got our first real authentic viral moment. One of our really, really, huge fans, Lori, just like kind of took everybody by surprise, she's amazing. And I just love the fact that, but again, that was a genuine viral moment, and it like broadened the audience, and more people were like, well, what is the song? And we love this lady. This is awesome. But who's the band? It's a big world. So, there's 8 billion people on the planet. And, we want people to know who Shinedown is if they're into it. But I think with social media, you just have to listen to yourself. You just have to time things a certain way. Sometimes there's a strategy. Sometimes it's very just natural and just happens. People can always find something to complain about online. We try to not do that. We try to build people up and show something that is positive reinforcement is a big deal with us, because we want to build people up, man. We're trying to make sure that people have confidence. That's always been our approach to anything. Social media is a tool, but it's also incredibly useful just gaining a new audience and letting the audience teach us things and share what we do with them. It's actually pretty rad.
Nice. The next questions I have is, you have a pop version of A Symptom of Being Human out last year. Why is that? Isn't the rock version good enough, or what's the plan behind this pop version of the song?
That there is no instruction manual, that there are no rules, that it's taken about 15 years since the album The Sound of Madness, because you have to understand something. The first 2 albums, Leave a Whisper and Us and Them, that was the beginning stage of the band. And then things changed. I brought in, with myself and Barry, we brought Zach Myers into the band, and we brought Eric Bass into the band. And there were a lot of people that were like, I don't know if this band is going to survive. And it was the complete opposite of that. The band actually began to, because of Eric and Zach, the band actually began to thrive. And that was an element too with the Sound of Madness album. We were the first band outside of, like, at that time frame, that was like 2007, 2008, when it was us, Green Day, and Nickelback, I think, we were the first bands to go from rock, mainstream rock, active rock, and even alternative, to cross formats over into pop and into like Hot AC and these kind of, I guess you would say, a bit more broader mainstream formats. So when that occurred, it really solidified the fact that we wanted to be taken seriously as a multi-format band. Meaning it's not just about one genre of music, because to Shinedown, we don't look at rock and roll as like a genre of music. Rock and roll is a way of life. It's a spirit. And that's what it should be about. You shouldn't necessarily have to be pigeonholed into one particular format or one style of music, because we're honestly, we have such a vast palette in regards to songwriters, musicians, all the way from Metallica to Prince. You know what I mean? So I don't think bands should be put in a box. So like my answer to the question is, we did it because we could.
That's nice. And are you working now on some new stuff? Maybe crossing lines in other directions?
But we're definitely going to cross the line. You know, that's what we love to do. Yeah. So we just kind of started working on what will potentially become Shinedown #8. But I have to be honest with you. You know, a symptom of being human is just starting to impact from a global standpoint. And honestly, I'm going to be straight up with you. You're the first interview that I've had about this song in regards to why it is so important for us to take this song globally, where it's not just about the United States. The song has been worked in North America for now 12 months, and it is an example of taking a song and, from an organic standpoint, letting the audience grow, letting the awareness of the band grow, letting the song grow. But that has a lot to do with the Warner Music Group and Atlantic Records and Elektra and everybody that we're doing, you know, with our label in the Warner Music Group abroad. So I feel so lucky being able to begin this journey with you and what Symptom is about to be doing from a global standpoint. So it's really just the beginning when it comes to this song. But obviously, yeah, we're working on new music, but it's also inspiring to watch the catalog be introduced to a new group of people.
Yeah, for sure. So your aim is that you're more also growing worldwide as a band.
Yeah.
So you toured in America in autumn with Spirit Box and Papa Roach, but you're not very often in Europe. So,
well, here's the thing about that. That's not necessarily true. It's just been the case for like the last 2 years because, see, the thing is, when the pandemic hit, one of the biggest things that I tried to make sure early that people understood. Everybody was like, what are we going to do? When it comes to the music industry, there's a huge brain trust of people, not just in America, globally. And that's the live touring industry. Like all of these engineers, these production managers, these assistants, pyrotechnics, audio, staging, lighting, trucks, buses, you know, just how that infrastructure is built when you're in an industry where you're touring for a living. And you're presenting these shows. That all stopped. You know what I mean? Like it just, there was no like ease into it. It was just like, you can't do your job anymore. And so my whole thing was like every single day, how do we take care of our people right now until we get out of this, until we can move forward from this? But also too, I knew specifically that the finances, when we did return to this industry, that it was going to be much different. I mean, to tour right now, trucks and buses alone, just in regards to any country, from 2019 to where we are now in 2024, the price difference that a touring act of any kind of music, of any genre, of any artist is 6 times more expensive today than it was in 2019, just for the trucks and the buses. Yeah. So then you start to you start to break that down with all the infrastructure. What happens is it becomes very, you have to get really creative with how you tour if you don't have the offset of the budget. So what happened with us was in 2022, we toured that summer in Europe and did a bunch of festivals. I know we did Rock am Ring, we did Rock am Park, and then
what is the show at Rock am Park? Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So there was that, and then that year, the back half of 2022, we played 5 arenas in the UK for the first time ever. We had played those buildings before, but never as a headliner. And so we literally sold out all 5 of those arenas, but we had a 25-date European tour that I'll just be very candid with you about it. Even to go bare bones to do that part of the tour, it was going to cost the band $2.2 million, and we were going to be upside down. And I had to make a conscious decision of whether or not we could do that realistically, and we just couldn't. However, since that has occurred, we are also now, we are working with our new international agent, which is Lucy Dickens, with William Morris Endeavors, who's the head of global. We have signed on with her here in the US, but she's now taking over everything that Shinedown is doing from a global standpoint. And when I tell you she is going to work, I mean, she is going to work.
Interesting.
Yeah. So because this band is a global band, we know that we have fans that have waited forever to see us back in Europe, fans that have been waiting 12, 13 years to see us in Australia, South America, Asia, abroad in, South Africa. Like all of these elements from an international standpoint, we're working on it right now. So we're coming for you. Just be patient.
I take it forward. Yeah. I'll be waiting. And a lot of other people are waiting, I think so. Okay.
Here's the thing. We want to make it worth the wait.
Yeah. It will be, I think. Maybe with some nice supports. Papa Road should be really nice again. Maybe also for Europe.
Bring Papa, you want to, would you like us to bring Papa Road with us?
Of course. Okay, nice. Just 1-2 questions to get out easy on the interview. You don't have to do a long answer. Just answer the first that comes to your mind.
Sure.
So, do you have a ritual before going on stage?
Yeah. So everybody gets in a circle. Everybody gets a shot of something or a beer. And the shot can be a shot of water. It can be a soda or whatever it is. Everybody gets in the room. It's 1 hour before we hit the stage. Barry counts down 3, 2, 1, and everyone screams at the top of their lungs, do, all in one breath until you almost pass out. And then you cheers everybody. And you say, good show, and you have to finish your drink. And unless you're in the band, you have to leave in 5 minutes, and then the band is an hour out. So yes, our pre-show ritual is called doo-doo. And I know what that sounds like, but that's what it is.
That's how it is. Also, another short question. With who you would like to perform on stage one day that you haven't had on stage yet? A person.
Brian Johnson.
Okay.
AC/DC, hands down, Brian Johnson.
Okay, and one last. What was your favorite band when you were 15 years old?
Soundgarden.
Like
still one of my favorite bands. Still one of my favorite bands ever. Chris Cornell taught me how to sing in a lot of ways, and I missed him very much.
So thank you very much for the interview. Have a nice day, and goodbye.
Thank you.
So,
later.